walk through cells and how they work. So let's walk you through this week's module. You're going to click on here and you're going to come as usually to the overview. Depending on whether I have to fix something or not, it will remain um, in this sequential. If I have to fix something, the sequential thing is lost. That's one of those things about apparently the new version of Blackboard. But either way, so we're going to talk about the smallest units of life. And it's fascinating when you think about it that we're made up of cells, right? So we're going to talk about chapter 4, which takes you off a tour of the cells, and chapter 5, which tells you the part of the cells in more detail. Um, and then the most important things that chapter 5 talks about is enzymes. Um, the activities, you've got the usual, you've got the helpful documents. Chapter 4 and 5 is in the book. Sample questions as usually, mastering biology as usually. There is some really beautiful stuff in the demonstration section. And then you've got a couple of assignments. Um, you find the e-text. Some of you are having trouble finding it. I think those of you who are trouble finding it are looking for it on the outside of Blackboard. So you need to look for it here, right? Mastering Biology, click on it, and then you've got the e-text, and this is where you've got your assignments. But back to here. Helpful materials for this week's reading. As usually, click on here. You'll get to that folder that contains all the things you want: tour guides, lecture, PowerPoint, sample questions, you name it, it's in there. And then I'm still working on those 2 video lectures. They will be done later today. They will go with the what you're reading in the chapter. If you get to this before I get to this, use the tour guide. It'll tell you a whole lot about what I think is important and what's not. Under demonstrations, watch this video. Do yourself the favor. It's 3 minutes. It's well worth your time. If you're struggling with osmosis, this one is a lot of fun. These 2 stories, you're gonna read the stories. You're gonna answer questions to them in the handout. Um, Again, you can go to the resources page where you'll find videos, and then I've got a cells and osmosis page that tells you a little bit more about. Well, like it just repeats some of the videos. So. Which brings you to the assignments. Why does this click you straight into optional materials? Well, apparently folders don't come into this sequence, so you'll have to go out here to get to the assignments. Next, you get to assignments with a repeat of what you're supposed to be doing. And then you can find the assignment items by clicking on here as usually. Then we've got a diffusion and osmosis board where I'm asking you to complete one of these experiments. If you want to do a different one, let me know. And tell me a little bit of something about it. There is a rubric, so double check on the rubric to make sure that you know what you're supposed to be doing. Then this assignment here is related to the story that you see in the demonstration section. I think I can close this out, right? And then what's the next one? Osmosis in action. So that's the question. And then you've got the other thing here. You've got, if you wanted to answer this one, if you have any questions, anything that I need to explain, um, let me know. And I'm going to address that. And then optional materials. Once you once you go through all these, you have access to the optional materials. But I want to show you what you're missing in the optional materials. This is the Leeuwenhoek video where it talks about how he discovered microscopic life and how he convinced people that this was in fact real in the 1800s before photography, when you had to convince somebody who didn't believe that, any life existed that was smaller than, oh, I don't know, let's say a human, um, could possibly exist. And that's it for this week.